It's Friday night. You get a text. It's a friend or maybe an acquaintance asking to grab drinks, help them move a couch, or pick your brain for an hour. Your stomach drops. You type out a polite but firm refusal. You hit send. And then a wave of euphoria washes over you that is better than any drug. You return to your silence, your book, or your staring contest with the ceiling fan, and you feel absolutely victorious. Spoiler alert, this reaction doesn't make you a sociopath. It doesn't mean you hate your friends, and it certainly doesn't mean you are depressed or isolating yourself. If you get a thrill from drawing a line in the sand and telling the world to stay on the other side of it, you aren't being difficult. You are engaging in high-level biological resource management. Your brain isn't rejecting people, it is aggressively defending its territory because it knows something the rest of the world ignores. You are simply protecting the asset. Society has been gaslighting you about this for years. They call it antisocial, guarded, or aloof. They tell you to put yourself out there or be a team player. The world is obsessed with accessibility. It demands that you be available, reachable, and open 24/7. When you deny someone access to your time or energy, society treats it like a moral failing. They act like you've committed a crime against the collective happiness. But here is the uncomfortable truth. Society is built for people with low-resolution internal worlds. For them, constant interaction is necessary stimulation. For you, it's an invasion. You aren't broken. You're just built different. You are operating on an operating system that prioritizes depth over width, and denying others isn't an act of malice. It is an act of survival. Let's look at the hardware. To understand why saying no feels so good, we have to look at your prefrontal cortex. This is the CEO of your brain, responsible for decision-making and social regulation. In most people, the CEO has an open-door policy. In you, the CEO is exhausted because your sensory gating system is wide open. Think of sensory gating like a nightclub bouncer. For most people, the bouncer stops the boring stuff, background noise, flickering lights, awkward emotional subtext, at the door. For you, the bouncer is on a permanent smoke break. Everything gets in. The hum of the fridge, the micro expression of disappointment on your friend's face, the weird vibe in the room. Your brain processes it all as high-priority data. When you deny a request, you are manually doing the job your bouncer failed to do. You are closing the blast doors. The relief you feel is your cortisol levels dropping. Cortisol is the stress hormone, effectively the body's alarm system. When you say yes when you want to say no, your brain treats it like a physical threat, flooding your system with stress chemicals. When you deny them, you aren't just being difficult, you are regulating your internal chemistry. You are turning off the fire alarm so you can finally hear yourself think. But here's where it gets interesting. This tendency to deny others isn't a glitch, it's an evolutionary superpower. In a tribe, you need the gatherers who talk to everyone, but you also need the sentinel. The sentinel stays back, watches the perimeter, and doesn't let just anyone walk into the camp. You have high social selectivity. Evolutionary psychology suggests that humans can only maintain about 150 stable relationships. This is Dunbar's number. But for someone with your neural architecture, the number is much smaller because the cost of each connection is higher. You aren't hoarding your energy because you are greedy. You are hoarding it because you are investing it in high-yield bonds rather than cheap penny stocks. By denying the trivial many, you are preserving your capacity for the vital few. You are the curator of your own existence. While others are drowning in a sea of shallow obligations, you are building a fortress of solitude where actual deep work and deep connection can happen. It's not rejection, it's quality control. You have an intuitive understanding that your energy is a finite resource, and you refuse to spend it on things that don't yield a return on investment. This likely started early. You were probably the observant child, the one who saw the adults lying to each other at dinner parties and thought, Why are we doing this? You recognize the pattern early on. Interaction often equals depletion. Maybe you were parentified, or maybe you just had to manage the emotions of volatile adults. You learned that being available meant being used. So, your brain developed a pattern recognition algorithm that spots energy vampires from a mile away. When someone approaches you with that specific, "I need a favor" tone, your brain runs a simulation in milliseconds. It calculates the emotional cost, the time lost, and the recovery period required. The math just works differently for you. Where others see a fun night out, you see a 48-hour recovery window requiring silence, hydration, and a dark room. You learned that the only way to survive a world that wants to consume you is to build a wall and install a very heavy gate. This manifests in some hilarious ways now. You probably keep your phone on Do Not Disturb 24/7 because the mere sound of a notification feels like a physical poke in the eye. You likely experience a rush of pure, unadulterated joy when plans get canceled. It's like winning the lottery without buying a ticket. You probably have a social script ready for declining invitations that is polite, vague, and absolute. You might even physically recoil when someone stands too close to you in line at the grocery store. Your furniture isn't just furniture, it's your sanctuary, and you judge anyone who enters your space by how much they disturb the peace. You aren't antisocial, you're just pro-peace. So, here is your permission slip. Stop feeling guilty for the no. Stop apologizing for your locked doors. The world doesn't need more people who say yes through gritted teeth. It needs people who have the integrity to protect their boundaries. You are a gatekeeper, and gatekeepers are necessary. Embrace the joy of the denial. It is your brain's way of telling you that you are safe. Wild, right? You aren't pushing people away. You are creating the space necessary for you to exist authentically. Congratulations, you have mastered the art of the hard pass. Don't let them guilt you into opening the gate. If this video just explained your entire life, don't scroll. The next video explains why you can read a room better than an FBI profiler, but can't remember someone's name 5 seconds after they tell you.